People hate Walmart, boy.
Okay. I got it up on the computer. Okay. Anytime you are ready, group 8.
Alright, this is a presentation on Walmart and its negative impact on America. I'm Kelsey. I'm Mary. I'm Haley.
Tony. James.
We're going to start off with some history behind the company of Walmart. It was founded on July 2nd, 1962 by Sam Walton. It was originally focused on having the lowest prices anywhere, anytime. And it was kind of founded on being like a local, family type of America, shop. And then in 1969, it was incorporated as Wal-Mart Inc. And the current CEO is Doug McMillan. And some little background on the Walton family. They're actually among the richest families in America. And recently they had a net worth of $152 billion, which is a lot, obviously. And there are many living relatives of the Walton family right now, including his sister and his children. And they actually own up to 50% of the company. Some facts on Walmart. In 2013, their revenue was $405 billion, and that makes it the 23rd largest economy in the world, which is bigger than Sweden, which I think is pretty crazy. In 2014, everyone in the world, on average, doesn't mean everyone, but their data said on average, everyone would make a purchase of 1.1 at Walmart. And overall, it's the largest employer in America and the biggest employer in 25 states. And there's just some pictures. The top picture is their CEO, Doug, and the bottom picture is Sam Walton.
So one of the major problems with Walmart presently is the treatment of their employees. Next one. On Black Friday 2008, Black Friday being the largest consumer holiday of the year, there was a worker who was hired for the season was actually trampled to death by a Black Friday crowd. A line formed around 9 p.m. on Thanksgiving. Around 3 p.m., the police had to come to take control of the crowd. And at 4:55, 5 minutes before the doors were set to open, there's no police to be found, and the crowd actually pushed through the doors, and unfortunately, one of the employees was trampled to death. And there was actually 4 other people that were sent to the hospital, including a woman that was 8 months pregnant. Walmart's handling of the situation was not very well done. Stores only closed until 1 p.m. After that, they reopened the doors and allowed shoppers to continue shopping. The father of the victim of the fatality, he wasn't informed by the store, he was informed by a family friend that his son had passed away. Walmart is also notoriously anti-union. Unions are very positive for volumizing the individual voices of employees. And what Walmart views that as is as an expense. So they try to advocate against that as much as they can. Earlier this year, PowerPoints of upper management of how to teach their managers how to advocate against unions were leaked by Anonymous, you've heard of that hacking cyber group. The next one. Here's some of the PowerPoint slides there. Kind of see them. First one says faux, facts, opinions, and experiences. Share facts about unions, share opinions about unions, share experiences about unions. And some of the taglines here, what they're trying to push their managers to say is unions are a business, club, or organization. They want associates' money. They're trying to push a lot that unions are just going to waste your money, just want to steal your money and all this. And they use the word "or" a lot. I'm sorry, "our," to try to say Walmart's a union and family. Try to make it sound like the company's on the employee side, when in reality it doesn't really seem that way. In the last few decades, there's been a decline of unionization in the country. And some experts believe that it's directly correlated to a decline in middle-class income. The next one again, there's actually a graph here that shows that. So the blue line there is middle-class income, the red line is unionization membership. So you see there's kind of close there in the decline. Another negative thing that happened last year was a lot of grocery stores, everything around Thanksgiving, will have food drives for the less fortunate for food pantries. And there was one store in Canton, Ohio that actually had a food drive among their employees for employees that couldn't afford to have a Thanksgiving meal. So they had this bin there that said, please donate food. So it was for other employees to donate food for other employees that work at Walmart but can't afford to have Thanksgiving meals for their family. And this kind of aid should really be coming from the company, not from other employees that are just barely more well off than their peers.
Another problem is the employee wages. A full-time Walmart employee gets an average annual income of $18,000. According to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the poverty level for an average family of four is $23,850 a year. Walmart claims that the average hourly wage of a full-time employee is $12.83 an hour. This includes the CEO's hourly wage. The CEO made $20.7 million last year. Walmart's low-paid employees cost America $6.2 billion in public assistance each year. Poverty's effects on the community. The low income spur property-related crimes such as burglary. There are 525,000 Walmart employees on the border or far below the poverty level. Another effect of poverty is poor living conditions, which come hand in hand with living in the poverty level, and this can cause bad reputations for communities. Low-paying jobs also have unsafe working conditions, and Walmart proved this with the 2008 trampling to death of an employee, and this was due to the lack of training for oversized crowds.
Alright, so OSHA, if you're not familiar with it, is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Their mission is to ensure safe and healthful working conditions for men and women by setting and enforcing standards, and by providing training, outreach, and assistance. So Walmart has had numerous times where they were found providing unsafe working conditions for their workers. So OSHA has a bunch of different penalties for different types of violations. And when you get a violation, you're issued a citation. So if it's a willful violation, it's when the employer is aware of the violation, or it's a repeat offense. And it can result in a fine of $10,000 and or 6 months in prison. A serious violation poses a threat to life or causes serious injury, it can result in a fine of $1,000. Not serious usually poses no threat of serious injury, but somehow still have a fine of $1,000. And de minimis, for the most part, pose no threat to job safety, and for this violation, only a citation is issued. Walmart managed to rack up $365,500 in penalties for 10 repeat violations and 14 serious violations added on top of that. So as discussed earlier, we talked about the Black Friday incident, the death of an employee. OSHA actually just sent a newsletter to retailers reminding them of the proper protocol for crowd management and what they should do. And some of the tips they include were including on-site personnel, so police, using barricades and rope lines, setting and practicing emergency procedures, and ensuring that the maximum occupancy isn't exceeded. So if Walmart had followed the protocol, maybe the incident wouldn't have happened or wouldn't have been as bad. And the citations issued against Walmart describe hazards that could lead to a worker fatality. So there's many violations at multiple locations, so it's not just one Walmart that is having these issues with OSHA. Most of the citations being discussed originated in the Rochester store in New York. But it was found that these violations also occurred at different Walmart locations across 8 states. So they would end up fixing violations at one store only to find it in another. Some other violations that OSHA had with Walmart was a giant trash compactor in all their stores. The employees weren't given the information they needed to run the giant trash compactor, so they didn't know how to turn it off and on. There was a couple incidents where maintenance employees cleaned up blood, but they didn't have any protective equipment, so that could lead to the spread of diseases. And employees were not given info about chemicals that were hazardous in the workplace.
All right, so up next we have some information on outsourcing. If you don't know what that is, it's basically obtaining a good or service from an outside foreign supplier, especially in place of an internal source. So what Walmart does is they outsource with China. So what they do is they pay foreign suppliers and their employees to produce goods over in China, and then they're sold over here. A little timeline on their outsourcing. In 1985, Walmart launched a campaign called Buy America. And basically what that was is it encouraged Americans to buy products only produced in America and to support the American economy. But then in 1994 and 1995, it was found that 4% of the goods that Walmart was producing were outsourced from China. And around that time, the first Walmart in China was opened. And then a huge jump was in 2000, 60% of the goods that they were producing were being outsourced from China. So that's kind of crazy for a company that's supposed to be all about America to be producing so much over in China. So the negative effects on outsourcing, going back to the example in China, the warehouse workers are being paid extremely low. I found online that they were paid 59 cents an hour, which is so crazy. And there was actually a person who interviewed a worker after he was leaving his shift, and he was just saying how awful he was being treated and how unfair it was. And I think that's pretty sad. And if the majority of Walmart's merchandise says made in China, how is that supporting America? I think going back to when Walmart was first opened, it seemed that it was founded on American values and the American dream, but if they're producing over in China, that's not really benefiting us that much. And it was found that in 2001, or between 2001 and 2006, 11% of the growth of the U.S. trade deficit with China was because of this Walmart issue with their outsourcing.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about how Walmart hurts small local businesses. First up is prices. Walmart is known for their low bag prices, and those low prices are just something small businesses simply can't compete with. Walmart also has a bigger variety of products, which is something that these small businesses just cannot offer. They also have a lot more flexibility with pricing. If a product isn't selling, they're more able to lower the prices to accommodate what the customers would want. But with a smaller business, they can't change the prices as easily as Walmart could. Walmart can also, there are special offers, maybe sometimes they can print on the bottom of the receipt, come back and get something people want, or it's 50 cents off, something like that. They also have obviously have an easier path to advertisements. They can, for example, they can dish out magazines through mail to display their special deals, or maybe even offer coupons, things like that. Example in Altadena, California, a woman by the name of Leticia Vega. She's the owner of a Montespan meat market that was opened in 1992. And ever since the Walmart opened nearby in 2013, she's been struggling to attract customers. This meat market was always known for their fresh products. She says the customers used to beg her to stay open past the 9 o'clock closing time. Now, ever since the Walmart opened, she says she has shelves filled with. Sorry. There's still shelves filled with milk and eggs that go past their expiring date, and she struggles to sell all the products. And this meat company was always known in the area for their fresh products and quality products. And now customers rather go to Walmart. And for statistical facts, Walmart is known to close down local businesses in as little as 6 months. Also in Chicago, in the Austin neighborhood of Chicago to the side, there were 306 businesses counted in the year 2006 before Walmart opened up. 2 years later, 82 of those businesses had gone out of business. And small businesses are an integral part of the community's market and economy, and Walmart is taking them out. Walmart makes small businesses overextend themselves by forcing them to lower prices just so they can take some of their customers away. So So yeah, they put pressures to lower prices, and also another thing they do is the entry rate declines, especially if Walmart is known to take businesses out in a certain area. Why would someone want to start their own business in that area?
So in conclusion, Walmart who claims to be an advocate for the American dream really isn't. They're more of a hindrance on the American dream than anything, especially to their own employees. They're a company that's very bottom line oriented. They only care about the profits of the company and the money coming in. They buy their way out of any problems they have. They pay the bare minimum of any fines, and then they move forward. They do everything they can for tax breaks and everything. So overall, Walmart is just a company that really doesn't do a lot of help for local economies, the economy overall, and for its employees. So there's one message to take away from this: it's definitely to shop local, and use local source. So. Any questions?
Questions?
You said that you don't like it because, like, with dealing with small businesses, they have the ability to do better prices and deals. Isn't that all just a part of capitalism though? So are you guys against capitalism?
It is, but one of the things that Walmart does in local economies is when they come in, they'll get tax breaks from the area to open up the store with the hope of stimulating the local economy. And in the long run, they don't, because of the low wages that they pay to their employees and the tax credits they get. It ends up costing the economy money more in the long run. There was a figure, I think it was there was one area that it actually cost $600,000 over the course of 5 years, rather than stimulating the economy. So they do more harm than good.
One more question. What's the question?
Many Massachusetts Walmart's been in trouble with OSHA?
From what I found online, it was more of the southern states, and also there was one in Rochester, New York, that's been in trouble.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there was a bunch that got in trouble 10 times, but in Massachusetts we really didn't see a bunch. There was a few things here and there, nothing major.
You watch your laptop? Yes, I don't know if it's still recording or not. I don't know the passwords.
Okay, 7.
I'm pretty sure your camera's still on.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Person?